I've been playing outdoors since I was a kid, standing by the front door at around 2 years old, hollering, side, 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 trying to get my mom to let me go play outside. Now, after 30 plus years working in the outdoor business, I'm dropping insider conversations every week with the brand leaders, guides, marketers, CEOs, and others to make the outdoor industry a $1 trillion juggernaut that drives product innovation, revenue, and public policy for everything outdoors. I'm Rick Sayes. Welcome to the Outdoor Biz Podcast. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to episode 451 of the Outdoor Biz Podcast, brought to you this week by Thrive Market. Think organic groceries are too expensive? So does Thrive Market. Get 30% off your first order and a free gift when you join. Go to ricksayes.com/Thrive Market and get your membership going today. Today I'm speaking with fellow OWAA member Emanuel Rose. Emanuel is an author, outdoorsman, and marketing expert. He says his love for the natural world has been a constant in his life, and he finds joy in exploring towering forest and the energy of the ocean. His childhood fantasy of discovering special wild places inspired him to write, and his children's book series, Wanaha Henry, is a growing result of that passion. Welcome to the show, Emanuel.
Thank you so much, Rick. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, me too. It was great to meet you on the Zoom call we were on last week with Howard. I'm surprised. Can't figure out how we didn't connect at one of the OWA conferences yet.
Yeah, well, I'm just like in my probably fourth or fifth month of being part of it.
Oh, that's it. Okay, you haven't been to one yet. Got you.
Yeah. And then, the ones this year are all overlapping on outdoor trips for me. So.
Yeah, that happens to me once in a while too. I think El Paso will be fun also.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed that I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm really looking forward to spending some time in the same room with some people and seeing the synergy, because everybody's so dynamic and got so many things going on. I'm really excited to participate and see how I can and help support everybody with the various projects they have.
Yeah, you have some good projects too. That's what I want to talk to you about when we turn the mic off, because I need a lot of help. I mean, my podcast is great, but I think the marketing side and some of the other stuff, you would think that my background in sales and marketing would help, but it changes so much, right?
Oh, it is so dynamic, and literally it's every day there's something new.
Yeah.
And the advent of the AI and the artificial intelligence and how that's impacting marketing is really amazing. And I went to a conference, a CMO conference earlier this year in Las Vegas, and I went just to make sure that I wasn't completely missing something that was very obvious. I was nervous,
Oh, wow. Yeah, right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, it changes that quickly. And sometimes, I guess they're not that great at communicating the changes. It just changes and they forget or gets lost in the shuffle or we miss it. It's pretty incredible. Pretty dynamic though. That's right.
Yeah. There's a lot of market forces on it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, this is an outdoor show. So let's start with what was your first experience in the outdoors? Was it as a kid?
Yeah, I had an outdoor family. I like to call it the Orthodox fly fishing family. And, there's only one way to fish for trout. That's with the dry fly. And there's only one way to fish for steelhead. That's with a black fly. And so, I literally, my mother tied me to a tree when I was like 1 year old, so she could read a book while my dad went fishing. So
wow,
I got the early dose of it for sure.
And how old were you when you threw your first fly?
My first fish was about 2. I don't know if my dad hooked the fish or what the deal was, but there's the classic picture of me with the little trout and a little tyke. So
right. That's cool. And where'd you grow up? Where was this?
In the Central Valley of California.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yosemite was the playground.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Back then it was a great playground. Now it's a little crowded.
Yeah, well, the beauty is the backcountry is still pretty amazing. I've done the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne walk a few times, and I walked Tahoe to Yosemite twice. And there are some magical untouched places on both those walks, plus that Cherry Lake entrance into the backcountry. Also, I've done a lot of walks through there, and there's a lot of untrammeled territory in Yosemite once you get out of your car.
Yeah, get out of your car and get off the trail, right? We did I did a couple high school buddies and I did the Tahoe to Yosemite walk and a bunch of those same walks that you've done. And the more and more that I go, the more and more I realize definitely got to get out of the car. But I'm thinking more and more, you got to get off the trail. It's just It's not something.
It's tough because the horsebackers kind of, they intercept a lot of stuff that normally would be really amazing for backpackers, right?
Right.
I mean, I remember one time we're like, okay, this time we're going to put in 15 miles on day one and get out past everybody. And then, like mile 14, there's the horse camp.
Right.
It's like, all right, well, learned that lesson.
Yeah. We skied Mammoth to Tuolumne a couple times. You ever done that? That's a fun trip.
That sounds awesome.
Oh man,
that's having it all yourself.
Yeah, pretty much nobody around. The last couple of years I did it, there was a few skiers. I'm sure there's a lot more now, but man, what a beautiful trip in the winter that is.
Yeah, that's magic.
Yeah, very cool. So what inspired you to become a writer? Have you always written?
Oh, yeah, it's one of those things. Like growing up, I was one of those kids that kept journals and always been a reader, and then just eventually collected enough information about marketing that I wanted to write those books, and I've come to the conclusion that there's enough marketing books in the world, so I'm not going to be writing any more of those. But the motivation to write, and then having the grandkids to mentor and not being around them all the time was the big push for me. So that's when I started to write the children's books and the nature themed values clarification books for them. And I'm starting out with picture books, and now I'm writing the chapter books.
Oh, so, cool.
Yeah.
I got your 2 books the other day. Thank you. That's awesome.
Oh, good. Yeah.
That'd be fun to dig into.
Which ones did I send you?
One was the authentic marketing, and then the other one was one of the kids' books. I forget the name of it. It's not sitting on my desk here, but yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty fun. And so those are 3 different genres that you write in, right? Marketing, children's, and self-discovery.
Yeah.
Do you like one more than the other? Is one you write more than the other? Or is they're all very important and all, I would think, pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, I kind of consider the children's books and the self-discovery to be the same genre in that, they're
right.
nature focused and self-discovery focused and awareness and, meditation and time by yourself and the magic of nature. And I think, that vein of that philosophy is what has kept me sane and stable through the turbulent dynamic times that we're experiencing and have experienced.
Right. And your marketing book, was it authentic marketing or AI and marketing? I forget.
Yeah, it's authentic marketing in the age of AI.
In the age of AI. Okay, I knew AI was in there. Yeah. Yeah, I've started dabbling in some of the AI tools for my podcast, and they are really, really powerful, but I haven't gotten into any of the really time-saving AI. I mean, they save time, but some things you can set up processes and just, it's hands off. That's really amazing.
Yeah, it is. The power of the software is really, really cool. And as long as we can stay focused on using the tool for our benefit, then I think, then we're applying it correctly.
Yep, I agree. Yep. What was your first book that you wrote?
It was Authentic Marketing. Let's see, it was the book about marketing to Gen Z.
Oh, okay.
And 68 million new humans in the marketplace, and how to capture these digital natives, capture their attention.
That's gonna be pretty interesting. I'll have to pick that one up too.
Yeah, and so I wrote that book, and the research that I did in terms of the psychological ramifications of the digital presencing.
I was just going to ask you about that.
Was really what I have a couple in the works. One is about how to mentor Gen Z, and the other is just for the Gen Zers themselves about how to be dynamic humans. But that's why I wrote the 7 Principles of the Magic Rock. Was like we've got to, as the elders in our culture, we have got to show some leadership in how to detox and be more functional and trigger people into getting outside and spending time, even just by themselves during the day.
Right.
Right. With things turned off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do a couple things. One is I played football in high school and wrecked my knees. So I lift weights, just to keep my body in shape. Otherwise, it just hurts all the time.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing I do is walk. I just get out and walk. I mean, living in Bishop, it's great. There's so many little canals and things that you can walk on, and I can get right up to the mountains on the weekends. But yeah, I'm with you. You got to get outside multiple times.
Yeah. And just turn off the phone and,
Yeah.
or at least put it on airplane mode, set a timer,
Mm-hmm.
and take some time for yourself a few times a day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yep. What, the most recent book? So tell us a little about that.
Let's see. My most recent book is called Summer's Magical Night, and it's about Summer the fox.
Cool.
And Summer is the youngest of the grandkids.
Okay.
So it's the values clarification around finding things that interest you and staying persevering.
Uh-huh. And how old is Summer?
She is 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's interested in everything, I'll bet.
Oh yeah. She's
and then sometimes nothing.
Yeah, no, how kids are so amazing. How they're just these little powerhouses of observation and mimicry and creativity.
Yeah.
And just
and energy.
Yeah, you just see, wow, where are they going to go? What are they going to do? And I hope that, these books, these personalized books for each of them is going to inspire them and trigger them into some things they don't even know about.
That's awesome. Yeah. My youngest nephew just finished an Ironman length triathlon in Kona this past weekend, which, if you'd have told me that kid was going to do an Ironman length triathlon when he was 12,
Yeah.
I said, no way. So, it's fun to watch them as they're into everything and into nothing. And then they grow up and become adults, and it's great.
Yeah. No, it is amazing.
Pretty cool. And then you added podcasting to your offerings. What inspired that?
Well,
or did that start out earlier? Did I miss that?
Yeah, I just wanted to have a way to kind of have a conversation with people and have some resources for people as they're working to make heads or tails of not just of the books, but then just of the trends. So the marketing in the age of AI, I'm really able to dig in with software creators and producers or experts in certain parts of it, like prompt writing or those sorts of things. So that's a fun professional way to do it. And then the nature bound is where my heart is, and I really want to continue to provide a resource for parents and people who maybe didn't grow up being outside, and inspiring them to continue to explore how they can leverage the amazing wilderness that we have access to in this country, and try out some of the gear and figure out what they like to do with those two things.
Yeah, and it's amazing when you do that, those of us that have done it a bunch, how it changes your perspective on the world. It just, you're twisted up in knots and frustrated, and then you go on a nice, just an afternoon walk or a big backpack or something, and you just, everything just kind of gets put back into place, mellows out. It's all okay. It's interesting.
Yeah, this concept I call reality's operations, right? You get out there and you hear some wind and moving water,
right.
See some birds or watch the otters play. And you're just like, oh, all right. I know my place. It's, I'm not able to control everything in culture, but at least I can observe some really cool things and get inspired to go back and try it again.
Yeah, very cool. How often do you drop episodes? Is it a weekly thing?
Right now, I'm kind of episode binging, just as people are interested. I'm booked out through like August. I don't know,
cool.
probably have like 15 episodes for each of them booked. So, I kind of want to get to 100 and then see what the show is. Each of those shows, and, see what the flavor is, and then see where I want to go from there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm booked out through, not quite to August, but I have through July. And my thing is always, I don't know about you, but I try to get booked up just so I can, when I travel to conferences and things, I don't have to worry about it. It's all in the can and done. It's much less stressful that way, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. Each conversation is so different, and people are doing so many really cool things. It's super educational for me, and that's kind of my commitment is I don't want to do any podcast with anybody I don't want to talk to, right? Like I have to be learning something or it's not super valuable.
Well, that's the beauty of being the host and the talent, right? You can call the shots. You can get somebody. I get people that, being connected to the outdoor retail wholesale space, I get a lot of folks that reach out, and I kind of have to politely, I think that's just not my thing, or that's not, whatever it is, because you're right. There's either it's the people or it's the product or it's the topic. It's just that I don't have any interest in that. So
yeah, and it's letting somebody down. There was this one guy, he's like, I'm a cancer survivor. I got one leg. I'm in a wheelchair. And I'm like, well, will you do anything that's outside? And he's like, and I'm still healing from cancer and all this. I'm like, well, hey man, hit me up, again in the future. Because he had a great story, but it just wasn't, there wasn't a connect,
Yeah, that's the way it is for my show. There's a lot of great stories out there, but if there's not a connection to the outdoor business in some way, probably not that interested. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty cool. Think organic groceries are too expensive? So does Thrive Market. They guarantee savings on healthy groceries and home essentials delivered. How? It's easy. They work directly with the best organic brands, so you get the highest quality products without the big retail markups. Shop everything from pantry essentials to sustainable meat and food to non-toxic cleaning supplies. And get 30% off your first order and a free gift when you join Thrive Market. Go to ricksays.com/Thrive Market and get your membership today. That's ricksays.com/Thrive Market. Now back to the show. And you also do some coaching. Tell us about your mastermind program. That sounds interesting.
Well, yeah, working to get people together and we cover special topics in a few times a month and around marketing and see what's actually working in not just in the theoretical world, but what's working for people and what's not working and how to simplify. And that really is the challenge with all the tools that exist in the marketing space right now, is just how to get back to problem, solution, call to action, speaking to people directly about their concerns in a way that's human to human, and making it easy for them to transact. And sometimes we get lost in all the KPIs and all the ways to do things and get distracted from the fundamentals.
Yeah, it's the fundamentals, right? Get back down to basics. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's what, if you read John Wooden's book, he wrote, I forget what he wrote, what the title of it was, but he wrote a book about his basketball coaching and whatnot. And it just brings it right back to the fundamentals, right? If you can't dribble and shoot and pass, we're done.
I mean, all the way down to how to put your socks on and how to tie your shoes, right?
Like, exactly.
Powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Let's see here. So before we get too deep into this episode, I got to ask you, how's the fishing right now?
Really good.
I'll bet.
Yeah. Let's see. I've been traveling from Reno across the border into California to go fish the middle feather.
Oh, nice.
And I've been out there a few times, and it's a really nice spot. Easy, remote spots to get to. So a nice big clear hatches. So it's very, very straightforward to connect with the fish.
I haven't missed that.
Let me know when you want to come out. We should do it next year.
Yeah, that'd be great. Definitely. It's not too far a drive.
April's a good time. April's a very quiet time on that river, and there's good bug activity and big browns.
Ah, okay. Well, I will put that in the calendar for next April.
Yeah.
Definitely plan on that.
When you have time. Let's see. Yeah, earlier in April, better, before turkey season.
Okay, good. I'll put that in the calendar.
Yeah, I got one that was about 6 pounds this year.
Oh my gosh, nice.
A brown trout. So that was pretty awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, Andy Palmer and he has the Adventure Portal website, does a lot of stuff on overlanding. He and I were up on, I'm drawing a blank on them. I think it was the East Walker. We did some camping and created some content, and we have plans to do that again this fall. So
the Walker. Yeah, the Walker's a beautiful river too.
Yeah, a lot of great camping on the east side too. There's a lot of wide open space out there.
Yeah, that Nevada side of the East Walker is interesting in all those little cow fields out there. Is a fun way to fish.
Right. So with such a wide scope of work, do you have a typical day? What's a typical day look like for you?
Well, my typical day is I get up at 3:30 every day.
Wow.
I meditate for an hour and then get a little bit of work done until the light comes up. And I walk the dog and we go and get coffee.
Looks like the dog is there with you.
Right now he's at the vet, but normally he's right there with me. Springer Spaniel. So he's never far from my side.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. And then usually I'll do some writing and then client work until about noon or 1. And then the afternoons are either time for golf or workout or some kind of a little mini adventure. So, I can be on the feather in an hour from Reno. So
nice.
It's a real treat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a great thing. Yeah, that's with me. I haven't been out fishing yet. I don't typically fish in the spring just because the water's just ripping. It's really hard to fish, so I wait until things mellow out a little bit. And it's just in time now. The bugs are starting to pop and it's getting hot. It's going to be 100 degrees, I think, in Bishop today or tomorrow. So,
well, you got all that great stuff right there at Bridgeport too.
Right.
The Twin Lakes area and obviously the Walker and
up around Mammoth. Yeah. No shortage of things to fish here.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. It's awesome. And how did you get connected with the Outdoor Writers Association?
Howard Fox found me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we did a couple podcasts about the Winaha Henry series of children's books. And then I wrote a book called Nature Bound, which is 50 activities to do with your kids outside.
I saw that.
And so Howard, was polite enough to have me on a couple of times, and I really enjoyed those conversations with him. And he's like, "You need to join the OWAA."
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, sir. Let me get right on that.
He's a good guy. We have a standing Wednesday afternoon call just to talk podcasting, and which we do it once a month for the outdoor writers, other podcasters, or people that want to start podcasting. So it's always fun to talk to other podcasters. You always, even as I've been doing this for, I think actually the Outdoor Biz birthday is tomorrow, June 5th. We started in 2017.
Happy birthday. Happy 7th birthday.
Thanks. Yeah.
That's cool.
Podcast birthday. But it's always fun, even though I've been doing it for that many years, you still learn tips and tricks and little things that people do that it just makes your show better and makes the episode better and all those things. I love it.
Yeah, like you're saying, it's just so dynamic that it's changing all the time, right?
All the time. Yeah, all the time. Yeah. Any other associations you belong to? Professional associations?
No, I don't think so. I'm not much of a joiner, so.
Me either.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm an Elks member and things like that, but no, not professional. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm the same. So in this AI age, what marketing advice would you give to aspiring outdoor entrepreneurs, especially boomerpreneurs like me? Us old guys that kind of just know enough to get ourselves into trouble.
Well, I think, looking at one of the generative AI GPTs, so Chat or Claude or whichever one that you want to get into, I prefer a platform called Avia, which connects to all the GPTs and is secure and encrypted. So none of the content I'm developing is shared with the GPTs. But I think there's really two things. One is that you need to have a small body of work already produced in writing to be able to have the GPT reference that. And then the second skill is to learn how to write really amazing prompts and prompt engineering. And if you have those two things, then the GPT can really work for you in a way that is that's holding your voice and your brand and be close to authentic.
You have to check out Avia. It's called AIVIA.
Yeah, AIVIA.ai.
I've been using Chat GPT for a while now and initially started. Sometimes people come on my show and I don't know anything about them. So I was doing all this research and I thought, you know what, I'm going to ask Chat. And so created a couple of, did some research and created a couple of interesting asks, and it spits out questions, if you do it right, pretty quick. I mean, amazingly fast, and they're pretty dang good, I mean, I out of the 10 or 15 questions it spits out, I'll use half of them. No problem.
Yeah, well, you mentioned that last Wednesday at the OWA podcast meeting, and I started doing it, and I'm like, wow, you referenced the person's website, and
right.
But you should ask them. And amazing set of questions. So
it's impressive. Yeah.
thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah, sure. That's a great tip. I think it's funny too, because I think it researches. You're right about mentioning their activity, because whether it's their LinkedIn or their website or their job title, I think that's really what helps chat find information to create questions about. You know more about that than I do, but it's just because when I was first doing it, I was just putting the person's name and I was going, no, that wasn't that great. And then I put more details in and it's like, holy cow, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I think if I had an hour to learn how to use generative AI, I would use the first 10 minutes to just try it out, not knowing anything. And then I'd use the next 40 minutes working with it to direct me how to write prompts. And then I'd use the last bit of that time to redo the work I did in the first 10 minutes with the prompt knowledge I knew now.
Right.
And then, that's the way that a person starting out is going to be able to get value from generative AI.
Yeah. That's a great strategy. Yeah. The other one Howard and I used, he's probably turned on to Cast Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one too. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a million of those tools that are just amazing. I love Otter AI.
Oh, I haven't tried that one yet.
So that's one that, it takes and summarizes these podcasts or videos from Zoom and then it builds out, highlights and then action lists from it. So,
like show notes kind of thing.
Yeah. And so like I was part of a strategic planning meeting for 2 days and put those into Otter. And then, like literally in 2 minutes, I had the full summaries and everybody's action items.
That's the amazing part, is how fast it is to me. That still surprises me. I put stuff in there and you can literally done.
Yep.
It's just like, holy cow, it's fantastic. So being outside as much as you are, do you have a favorite piece of outdoor gear under $100?
Ooh, favorite piece under $100. Well, man, I'm really loving these 13 quart totes. That's one.
Yeah.
It's got, six clips to hold the lid on.
Yep.
And they're clear. So
you can see into them, see what's in it. Yeah.
See into them. They stack. They fit really well in the back of my Xterra. I can bungee cord them down. There's still room for the dog in the back. So that's probably my favorite right now.
That's a good one. Nobody's mentioned that. And of all the books you've written, I'm sure you read a lot. Do you have a favorite book or two?
I would always go back to Hermann Hesse and Siddhartha.
I don't know that.
And so Hesse was this German writer from, I think it was like early 1900s. Anyway, he has a number of amazing books around East and West philosophies and how they come together or how they're he even spent time in an insane asylum, the whole thing. He's the real deal. So yeah, he's probably my favorite author. And that book is one of the ones I go back to.
I'll check that out. I'll have to add that to my quiver. My list is getting pretty big based on this question I ask every week.
Yeah.
And if people would like to reach out and follow up with you, how can they best do that?
You can find me at EmanuelRose.com. And also you can just Google Emanuel Rose and I'm the first one up.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. EmanuelRose.com has got a lot of access to all the stuff you do. So that's a good place to go. Yeah. Well, it's been great talking to you. I look forward to meeting you in person, either on the river or probably on the river before it will be an OWA conference.
Yeah.
We can make on the river happen like soon.
Yeah, that's right.
And we should.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Emanuel.
Okay. Thank you, Rick. I enjoyed it.
Hey, before we wrap, I've got a special message for you. I know some of you have a podcast rolling around your brain or already have a podcast you'd like to polish up a bit. I'm excited to announce that I'm partnering with Tracy DeFord's, Stephanie Euler, and the Produce Your Podcast team to get it out of your head and into your followers' ears. Tracy and her team have helped me grow and monetize my show, and podcasters trust them because they deliver. Go to ricksays.com/PYP to get all the details. Let's get your show created, produced, and on the air today. Go to ricksays.com/PYP and get all the deets, and let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Outdoor Biz Podcast. Be sure to visit our website, theoutdoorbizpodcast.com, where you'll find show notes with links to everything we talked about and more, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or spread the word and tell a friend. That would really help us out too. Be sure to tune in every week. And thanks again for listening to the Outdoor Biz Podcast with Rick Sayes.